Hi everyone. The problem now that we are going to solve involves the input table user det, which has the user details. So as part of this table, we have below columns name, which is the name of the user, place, which is the location of the user, and age, which is the age of the user. So this is the input table details that we have. Now, as part of the output, what we need to do is we need to add one new column, which is user ID, and this column will be formed using the name column. What we need to do is we need to remove all the vowels, that is A, E, I, O, U characters from these names and get that string. So after eliminating the vowels, we need to get the string that will be the first part. So vowel eliminated, name column is what we need. That will be the first part. The second part that is required here is we need a sequence number. Okay. So we need a sequence number starting from 1 and incremented by 1, like 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. And this part should be of length 6. And if the sequence number is of lower number of bytes, we need to we need to add leading zeros here. We need to like prefix it with the leading zeros so that the total length is 6 characters. So for example, if here the sequence number is 1, so it will have 5 leading zeros to make the length as of 6 length. Similarly, here there is another example. For the user with name Ajay, we will eliminate the vowels, that is A here. So we will get JY, and in this case say the sequence number was 17. So 17 covers 2 bytes. So we are left with 4 more positions as the total length has to be 6. So the remaining leading the 4 positions will be filled with leading zeros, and there is a separator, that is a underscore, that needs to be added. So this is the ask, and this is what we are looking for. So for each of the user, form the user ID using the name column by eliminating the vowels and add a sequence number with leading zeros, ensuring that the length is total of 6. Okay, so let's work on this and get this output. Okay, so what we will do is we will operate on this input table user det. So initially we will keep all the columns as it is, and the first operation that we will perform is getting the name column by eliminating the vowel characters. So how we can achieve it? We can use the replace string function. So in replace, we pass the column on which we need to operate, the character that we need to replace, and with what we need to replace. Since we do not want any replacement character, we will not mention any character inside the quotes, and this will be our updated name. So let's see the output for this. So here is the output. At present, we have just eliminated the vowel A from this name column. So as we see here, A has been eliminated everywhere. Now, if we have to eliminate the other characters like say I, so we will operate on whatever data is there. On this data, now we will remove I. So on top of this data, we will operate with the replace function. So this will be kind of our input now. Again, we will now replace I with no characters. Now if we run this, we would have replaced A, and then we would have replaced I. So kind of we would have removed these two vowels. So let's see this. So now we have removed two vowels, that is A and I. Okay, so similarly, we can go ahead and write multiple replace function following the output that we keep getting. So now we can replace character O. So this way we can go ahead and replace each of the vowel characters. But this is very cumbersome approach. Now consider if we had many characters that we had to nullify, we had to remove them, then this will become very tedious process. So is there any alternative way that we can approach this? Yes. So let's go ahead with the alternative approach. So this is one approach wherein now we will add u, and then on top of that we will remove all a, e, I, o, u, all the characters we will remove, and this way we can operate. Alternate way, what we can do is we will use another string function, that is translate. Okay, so we will operate on this name column. What we will do is we will mention all the vowels, a, e, I, o, u. All the vowels are mentioned, and then so basically how translate operates is we can specify what all characters that we have to replace, and then specify with what they have to be replaced. So for example, we can say like this. What this means is replace all the A characters with at the rate, replace all the B characters with hash, replace all the dollar characters with all the C character with dollar. So this is the replacement that will happen. So for example, if if we had this name Sayan and we applied this translate operation to replace it this way, then the output that we will have is s at the rate y at the rate n. Okay, so whatever has to be replaced is specified together, and the one-to-one correspondence has to be specified. The number of characters that are specified in the input, same number of characters has to be present in the replacement string that is given. Okay, so now let's move on. Let's operate here. So now what we will do is we will replace all the vowels with a character which is less likely to occur in the name. So let's say we will never get at the rate in the name. So what we will do is we will replace each and every vowel with at the rate, because we have to give same number of characters in the replacement string as it is present in the input, whatever characters that we have given. The length has to be the same. So what this will do is it will replace each and every vowel with at the rate. So let's run this and see the output. Okay, so as we see here, each and every vowel has been replaced with at the rate. Okay, so why we have chosen at the rate? So we know that the at the rate character will never occur in this column. That's why we have gone ahead choosing at the rate. If we have any other character which will not occur in the name column, we can use that as well. Okay, so now we have this as the data. What we now need to do is just remove this at the rate, and then we will reach to the first part, that is eliminating all the vowel from the name column. So now on top of this data, let's use replace. So we are operating on this. We will use replace. So we will replace all the at the rate with no character. Okay, and let's see this output now. Okay, so as we see, we have achieved the first part. So we have replaced, first we have used the translate function to replace all the vowels with at the rate, and then we have used replace function to replace all the at the rate with no character. So we have achieved the first part. So we are done with this. Now let's work on the second part. Now we need the sequence number with leading zeros, and total length has to be 6. So for this, what we will do is we will use a row number window function. So row number is used for ranking. Okay, so that window function we will use now. So row number and window we have to specify. So in any of the ranking window functions, it is mandatory to specify the order by clause. In this case, we are not concerned with a particular column on which we want to do the ordering. We want the first column, whatever is there, to have the sequence as 1, this row to have the sequence as 2, this row to have sequence as 3, and so on. Okay, so in case we are not ordering based on particular column, we can specify select null here. What it will do is it will give the ranking in the same way the data is present. Okay, so let's see this. We call this column as rank, and let's see the output. Okay, so the way the data is present, now we are getting the output in the same way, the way it is present. We are getting the same order ranking. Okay, so now we have the sequence. What we need to do is, this sequence is of only one character and we need it to be of length, total length of 6. And to make it of total length 6, for this we will need to have zeros added in the beginning. Okay, so for this what we will do is we will use a replicate function. Now just to talk about this replicate function, whatever we give to the replicate function, for example, if we give abc and we say that replicate it 5 times and just run this part, what it will do is it will repeat it 5 times. Okay, so this will be useful for us if we say that we just want zeros and tell it to repeat 5 times. It will give us 5 zeros. Okay, so this is what we are going to use. Now how we will operate is, once we have this sequence number with us, okay, we need to check its length. Okay, for example, if the sequence is 1 2 3, and suppose down the line we have sequence as 17. Okay, so this is of length, total character is only 1. For all this the length is 1, so for this we need to add 5 zeros. So how we reach to this number? It will be 6 minus length of the sequence number that we have derived. Similarly, the same formula if we use down the line. So for 17, the length is 2. So 6 minus 2 will be 4. So this will give us 4 zeros followed by 17. So that way we will achieve the result. This will be 6 minus length is 1. So 6 minus 1 is 5. So there will be 5 zeros and then 1. Similarly for this, it will be 6 minus 1. So here also length is 1. So again 6 minus 1 is 5. So 5 zeros followed by this number. So this way we will achieve the length 6, and using the replicate we will have this zeros for these many times. Okay, so this way we will operate and get the second part that we are looking out for. Okay, so now what we will do is we will work on the second part. Okay, so this is our rank. We will get the length of it. So length of this we will get. Okay. This is the sequence number length. Okay, and this is our sequence number. Okay, so let's run this once to see the data. So this is the data now that we have. So here note that since we have smaller data, we have only sequence number till 6, like, so each one is of length 1, so that's why we don't see any difference here. But with huge data, as the sequence number goes to 10, 11, this will change to 2 and so on. Okay, so this is the length. And now what we have to do is we need to find out what will be the leading zeros length, how many leading zero characters we need. Okay, so we will call it as zeros length. So this will be 6 minus this length. So this will show us how many zeros we need to add. Okay, so if we execute this, it shows us that we have to use 5 zeros. Okay, so it is 6 minus 1, 5 zeros we need to add. So let's do that. Let's add that 5 zeros. So how we will add? We will just use the replicate. We will use zeros, and this many zeros we need. Okay, so this will be our, now let's remove this and call it as leading zeros. Okay, and we don't need this length also. So we have the sequence number, we have the leading zeros. Let's see the output now. So now we have the leading zeros, we have the sequence number, and we have the updated name as well. So now the task is very simple. We just need to concatenate this together and generate the final output. Okay, so to concatenate, we'll use the concatenate function here and get them merged together. So we'll use concat function. Okay, so this is our first part. Then we need to add the separator underscore, and then this will be the leading zeros. And finally, we will have this sequence number. Let's call it as the user ID column. Okay, so this is the output that we need to generate. Okay, so we have got the required output. Okay, so we have eliminated the vowels from the name column and got the sequence number as the second part with leading zeros, keeping it to be of length 6. Okay, so we have achieved the output, and while deriving this output, we have used multiple string functions like replicate, concat, finding the length, translate, replace. Okay, so this way we have achieved the solution. So if you have any alternate solution, please post it in the comments. And if you found this video useful, please like the video and please subscribe the channel if you have not yet subscribed. Also, please mention in the comments what you liked about the video and if any changes that you will like to see. Thank you.